my sewing friends. My name is Jen, and this is Friday Sews, usually happening on Friday, but today is Sunday because of, life reasons, what have you. Friday Sews is when we talk about sewing in life, so click on the hashtag down in the description box in the first top comment, and you can find all kinds of people who do it. And while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you won't miss any of mine, no matter what day they happen. I have a lot to tell you about, so let me just shift right into sewing. Not much to talk about with sewing, except that I made some bowl covers, and I'm doing a lot of thinking and planning about sewing, and I will be doing some this week, hopefully having to do with that, which I'll get to in a minute. But I made some bowl covers. I made them as a gift for each of my sisters to take with me last weekend when I left, and I gotta tell you, they are the absolute easiest thing to do. I had 6 done within about an hour and a half. And that's from cutting them out, measuring around the bowl, cutting 2 round things out, round pieces of fabric out, sewing around, leave an opening, turn it inside out, sew another row of stitching about 3/8 from your edge, finished edge, and then thread some elastic through and bam, you're done. That's it. I could not get over how fast those went. So I have to take my mom some, and she said they use their bowl cozies all the time. So maybe I'll make some when I go up there next, which is going to be in about a week and a half. So that was all the sewing, actual under the sewing machine thing that I got done. I am planning, and I am getting ready to finish up this cape, which has been the bane of my sewing existence for the past since Christmas. Had it done, thought it was great. She didn't think it was great, so I fixed it, and then she said she'd like it another way, and so I just basted, because I wasn't going to sew it, basted the edges together of the hood and kind of gathered it and pinned it to the cape. And I took some video of it, sent it to her. She's in Virginia, I'm in Florida, and she didn't like that either. So she said, let's just go with the lining. The lining actually is, well, I guess I could just show you. It's the lighter version of the outside. It's all stretch velvet. But, it occurred to me that I had not paid close attention to the way she wanted it done. She had sent me some inspiration pictures so that I could see what she was going for. And so I realized I had not taken a look at those more carefully to decide what she wanted. And so I'm going to do like a little capelet on top. Let me move on into what I did this week that has to do with sewing, but having to do with the cape. I have 2 Joann's stores that are about the same distance from me, and the one to the south has closed. And so they had one of those this much off, this much off, this much off, gradually going down, and it got to 90%, and I thought, all right, I'll just go take a look. And it was so busy, so many people with carts stacked high full of fabric that needed to be cut, and I thought, I just don't want to mess with that. And all their patterns were $1.99. Well, that would have been great had any of the Vogue been left. That would have been nice. But I picked up some patterns, and one had to do with this cape. And so I got McCall's 700. It's a costume pattern, but it has this little capelet on top, and that's what I want. So while I was draping that last night, I also realized I can use this, and it's already done for me. So I'm going to try and see what I can do with this. I do still want a hood, but the trouble with that is that there are several layers of thick stretch velvet, and it's hard to get all those layers through the sewing machine. So if I take the capelet and I line it with something like this, this is just costume satin from Walmart. I also got some satin from my daughter in Atlanta, and she's gonna mail it to me. But if I line it with something lighter like this, I think it's gonna make a big difference. And then if I can make the hood just either button or snap on somehow, then she'll have the hood, but I won't have the trying to get all those layers of fabric to go through my machine, because the hood will also be the stretch velvet. So that's 2 layers of that, 2 layers of cape, and then more layers of the capelet. And I thought, that's too much. So this is going to be my friend. Actually, this may be the lining of the the hood and the lining of the capelet. So not really sure, but I can tell you that it matches this stretch velvet, which is the lining of the cape, pretty much perfectly. So I may do that instead. So that's the cape situation, and that was that pattern. I also got a couple of patterns, same pattern, different sizes. So I got all the sizes for my husband for a pair of joggers. So this one looks really good. It is joggers and a t-shirt, and then a t-shirt with a hood. My husband bought a pair of joggers and he loves them, and he wears them on the plane every time we travel. And so I thought, be nice to make him a couple more pairs of those. So hopefully I'll be able to do that and have them fit him, and it'll be wonderful. I got McCall's 8287 because it's a woven top with a puffy sleeve and a square neckline. Now I know very well I could probably take any t-shirt kind of a top with puffy sleeves and give it a square neckline. I know, but they did it for me. So cute little top. These last three I got because of, once again, the wedding. I needed something to wear. I thought, well, what am I going to wear to the wedding? Well, this is happening on the top of a mountain in the Colorado snow, and so we're all going to freeze, but it's going to be pretty. So I needed a dress, and then I also needed a coat. I wanted a coat to go with the dress. I know exactly what I want. And so when it comes to these patterns, sometimes I think when you're going to make something and you know exactly in your head what you want, then what you do is you look at a pattern and you go, I need that piece, and then I need that piece from that pattern, and I can use that piece from that pattern. And so that's why I bought these three patterns. The first is McCall's 7999, and it is a bodycon dress. I'm not going to wear a bodycon dress to the wedding. No, I'm truly not. But I thought I can shorten it and have a turtleneck, because that's what I want, is a fitted, close-fitting, like very fitted turtleneck, and then a skirt that I have in the works. And so that's why I bought this. It's a pretty dress. I don't know that I would ever wear this kind of a dress, but I needed the turtleneck. I have a turtleneck pattern. I have a couple patterns, which I'll show you. Actually, I'll just show you now. This is from the days of New York Fabrics and Crafts and Cloth World. I don't know where I got this, if I paid for it or not. I don't know. I just know that here it is, and I've never used it and had it since the 1980s, and I thought, well, maybe that'll work. It's funny. It's just like an indie pattern. The paper is glossy, but you know, it's just the same thing where you have it and then you trace it off. I find that interesting, because back in the 1980s, all those kinds of patterns were all quilted jackets and vests and, you know, that kind of stuff. Not what indie patterns are today. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. And I also have Butterick 31.99, and I've made this before, so I know it works. They do have a long sleeved version, and it's a little less fitted than I wanted, hence this. What I can do is lay it down, figure it out. I'll probably use this one actually. Lay it down, lay this down on top, and just see what the difference is and see how that fit is going to go. That's why I bought that. Now these two are for the coat, like I was talking about. What I want is a coat that comes down and has like 3 or 4 buttons right here. It has a skirt that goes out and is almost like a full circle skirt. And I want it to come up and possibly have a hood. I'm undecided on the hood portion, but maybe, I'm not sure. So when I looked at these two patterns, I thought these are jackets, but they have a peplum, which means they have that waistline seam. That's what I was looking at. I thought, okay, one of them has buttons all the way up top and has a puffy sleeve. So that one has that, and then this one has a regular sleeve, but it does have a collar with lapels. And so I don't want that neck opening. I might want this one. I might be able to work with this one more easily. This is McCall's 7513, gorgeous jacket with a peplum, and it's got 2 kinds of peplums and a high-low hem, so it is beautiful. And that's what I was looking at. Fit, the plain sleeve, princess seams on the back, and I might be able to use this neckline without the collar, and then just do a hood. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm doing a hood or not. And then this is McCall's 8541 vintage 1980s. And you know, I'm pretty sure I have this pattern. Let me go look. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Holy cow. I do. I have the exact pattern. I'm glad to have this anyway because I like vintage reprints, especially if I have the original. But I thought, man, that looks familiar. Anyway, this is going to really help me with regard to putting together the coat that I want, which is why I got it. So that's all the patterns and that's all the wedding drama. And I am going to show you what I'm doing for my wedding dress that I'm going to wear to the wedding, but it's got to do with thrifted stuff that came out of nowhere. And I'm going to show you how I put the whole thing together. So that's to come. And that is all of the sewing. So I'm going to move on into life. I went and saw my sisters last weekend. We went thrifting and we had a fantastic time. One of my sisters and her husband met us at a restaurant that we went to, my husband and I, for our 32nd anniversary. It was a little hole in the wall. We loved it. We thought this is the best fried chicken and fried green tomatoes we've ever had. And so we thought we'd go back to that little restaurant. And apparently now they are a very big deal. And it looks completely different. Food critics have come, they've been in magazines, and it's a very big deal. And so that was fun. My other sister who lives there said that she'd eaten there many, many, many times. I just thought that was funny. So we were at Cape Canaveral, Cocoa Beach, you know, that area, and didn't get to see any rockets take off, but, you know, I am all gaga about NASA and SpaceX and all of the things. I love space. So anyway, that was fun. I did get a new phone yesterday, and I thought I'd tell you about that. Part of the reason I'm here on Sunday and not Saturday. And I have had a case on my phones since 2013, I think. I went to buy a phone and I was at Sam's Club, and the lady who sold me the phone had this case and I loved it. And so I ordered one on Amazon. It was like $10. And my husband saw it and he had to have one. Well, his was a newer phone, so it was $15, I think. And now they're 40. I guess we started something. All of our kids have them. It's really kind of a nice case. This is the phone that I bought when I got the case all those years ago. This is my old iPhone 7, and I traded in my iPhone 12 to get this new one, which is a 16. And the 12 case happened to fit the iPhone 7, which I still have because I keep all my audiobooks on it. But the thing notable about the case that I want to tell you is it is really rugged. Enough so that when I traded in my 12, the guy kept thinking it was the new phone. He goes, man, this is in such good shape. And it's only because of this case, and I put those Dollar Tree screen protectors on. I did order new screen protectors for the new phone and also a new case, so it's not here yet. But anyway, the thing I wanted to tell you about the case is that it's magnetic on the back and it has a little wallet thing. How great is that? Makes it so you only need your phone when you go shopping. You don't have to take your purse. You don't have to take your wallet because you can put credit cards and folded up cash in here if you want. I usually put my license, a credit card, and my insurance cards, and there you go. It's all right there. I have right now a little tracker thing on it because I'm always setting this down and I can never find it. And the tracker works with Find My on iPhone. If you know, you know. And so anyway, it's just new stuff. The window is back. I had to take it down because we got new windows in our house, which are, by the way, fabulous because they have noise protection. It's wonderful. We sit on a pretty busy street, and so it's really nice. And then I had to put blinds in because in the mornings, it's hard for me to come in here and sew because the sun comes up in the east and that faces east. And so it's like blinding. You know, all the light reflects off of the metal in my sewing machine and it's like trying to sew. Yeah. So now I have blinds, brand new blinds. So now it's back up and it's actually hanging because I can't set it on the windowsill anymore because of the new windows and where the latches are, it doesn't fit. And so, yeah, it's a proper hanging stained glass window. And really, that's about it for life. So I'm going to move into a little bit of Jesus, if that's not for you, and this is where you check out. Thank you so much for being here. I just appreciate you, and I hope that you'll come back, and I'll see you next time. Little bit of Jesus. I have been feeling very much like I'm not connecting with God when I pray. I feel like I'm just talking, and it's going nowhere. Well, I saw a devotional by John Ortberg on Become New. I'll link that channel below. And, you know, he talked a lot about prayer and aspects of prayer. And also some other things I'd never thought about before. He was quoting from a guy named O. Halsey. And he made the point that my connection or my feelings don't really make any difference when it comes to praying, because prayer is not defined by a feeling of certainty or a sense of confidence, but it is just coming to Jesus. And I thought, okay, I talk to him all day long, but I don't feel his presence. It's not like he's standing behind me with his arms around me or anything like that. But that's just the point. Prayer isn't always about a feeling. It's not always about an emotional experience. It can just be you and God, and you're hardly aware of him, or you don't feel like you're aware of him. He's right there. He's still there. I needed to be reminded of that. He also talked about the difference between unbelief and doubt. I found this so fascinating. He talked about Mark 9. In that chapter of the Gospel of Mark is a story of a man whose son was possessed by a demon, and he came to Jesus and said, if it's possible, could you heal him? And Jesus said, are you kidding? All things are possible with God. Do you believe? And the man said, I believe, help my unbelief. Well, there's a difference between unbelief and doubt. Unbelief is actually, well, I'll just read to you what O. Halsey says. Unbelief is an attribute of the will and consists in man's refusal to believe. Doubt, however, is an anguish, a pain, a weakness. So with unbelief, you've decided, I do not believe that. I don't believe it. I'm decided, I do not believe it. And then doubt is where you say, well, I believe it, but I'm just not sure. I have my doubts. I believe that it's going to happen like 90%, but I have my doubts. So therein lies the difference. It's like when you go to God and you say, oh God, I need you to do this thing. And I'm almost sure you're going to do it. But I also have to take into account that I don't know you, and you're God, and you know it all, and I'm not you, and you know, all those things. So I have my doubts whether you're going to do it. It's not that I don't believe. It's just that I have my doubts. See, that's completely different than unbelief. So that was good for me to hear, because I've wondered about that a lot in my life when I've gone into the scripture and read that. So anyway, I will link that whole devotional from last Friday for you down in the description box. And I will also direct you to the Become New channel, because it is really good stuff. So that's it for Friday Sews, and I appreciate you so much. I love you all, and I'm glad to spend time with you. And so thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.